What's going on, everybody? So I'm making this upload because I just want to give my thoughts on the Gabby Petito situation. So this is something I see actually as a problem that a lot of people have, is people automatically jump the gun on things all the fucking time. Every fucking time. People are always jumping the gun, right? She went missing. Yes. Body was found. Yes. Before there was even a body found. Before anybody knew that she was even deceased, right? People were accusing him of murder and say, oh, he committed murder, da-da-da-da-da, he committed murder. He lawyered up, he didn't talk to the police. Okay, well, you know what? If lawyering up and not talking to the police is a sign of guilt, then those things should not be rights in the Constitution. Period. And they should not be rights in the Constitution. Any lawyer, any judge, any prosecutor, and any cop that's actually not investigating you would tell you the same thing. You should not speak to police. You should not speak to people in court. They are not your friend. They are not your ally. They are paid to twist what you say. And they are paid to deduce whatever thing they can to prove guilt out of everything you say, regardless of it. They can take one little circumstance that you mention and use that and try to use it against you. You are advised to never speak with police. So that was not a sign of guilt. At this time, with the Gabby Petito case, I don't know if he is the one who committed murder. Yes, her body was found to be ruled a homicide. Evidence has not shown he is the one who committed said homicide. There is a possibility, for example, I'm not saying this is what happened, but it's possible. She could have ran into a serial killer after he ditched her ass, right? So he ditched her, and then she runs into a serial killer. Or he ditches her and somebody kills her in the woods. Who knows? Something could have happened after he had left. There is no evidence that he specifically committed any kind of murder. The thing that people are using to say he committed murder is him exercising rights that he should exercise, and that anybody involved in anything with law and anybody who knows anything about the law would encourage him to exercise those rights. That is what was the entire premise for people saying he was guilty. Now, I'm going to say this, it does seem to me that this is more of a left-wing issue. It was especially prevalent during the impeachment of Donald Trump. Okay, during the impeachment of Donald Trump, he went to court. He filed appeals to court, right? So they ended up doing the subpoenas, and him and staffing members of his appealed the subpoenas in court. They have the legal right to do that. They have the right to go to court, okay? Democrats withdrew said subpoenas, used it as a sign of guilt that he exercised his right to go to court, and then filed articles of impeachment for obstruction. You cannot impeach someone for going to court, okay? You can't impeach someone for going to court. Trump and his staff exercise their rights. You may not like it. You may not like that they did it. You may not approve. But they have those rights. This is not Soviet Russia, okay? We are not in Soviet Russia. We are not women in the Middle East. People have rights here, okay? And that's one of them. Rights don't pick and choose. There's a reason that people who are accused have these rights. And guess what? He exercised them. Get over it. Okay, the left, that seems to be a big thing with them in general, is that they do not seem to be a fan of due process rights. And this goes before Trump, too. It even goes with Kavanaugh. It goes back to Kavanaugh. So, in terms of the Blasey Ford situation, I'm not going to get into that, okay? I'm not going to get into that. What I am going to get into is the fact that people, especially on the left, were so willing to throw out the entire concept of due process. They were willing to throw out the entire concept of due process and just say, oh yeah, he's accused, he's guilty. That's where I have the problem with. When you start getting rid of due process and you start ignoring due process, now I have a problem. Because due process is very important, especially in those kinds of cases. There actually was a time in U.S. history where women could make accusations like that, and there was no due process, and the man would just be arrested and punished by law and under penalty of law. You know when that time was? It was during slavery, and it was during Jim Crow. There were many, many innocent black men who got lynched because of that. One example being Emmett Till. That's the most basic name to say, I know. I know it's the most basic name to say. Most well-known, which is why I'm saying it. If you don't know who Emmett Till is, look him up. It's that simple. And you will see the exact reason why due process is so important to maintain. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like the left wants to do that. It doesn't seem like they care about due process. Now, the Petito case, the problem is that he exercised his Fifth Amendment right and that he got a lawyer. That is the primary issue that people are having with this. Now, you also have people like Dog the Bounty Hunter getting involved. You have Dog the Bounty Hunter, okay, and people make such a big deal. Okay, Dog the Bounty Hunter, this is a fucking joke. This whole thing, Dog getting involved, that's a joke. He's not a fucking cop. He does not have any legal standing to arrest this person. He does not have any legal standing to do any of that. Okay? There is no reason that he should even be involved in getting the attention for this that he's getting. Because he can't even do shit. Yes, he may be able to find said individual. Sure. He may be able to find said individual, but he can't arrest him. Police have to do that. If dude sees a dog is there, he can flee. What you see on TV shows like Dog Show or like Operation Repo and things like that, that shit is staged, okay? Dog the Bounty Hunter, that show, it was fucking staged. Because he does not have, now if it's a person that's dipping on bail, etc., yeah, bail enforcement agents can go find him. They can do that. But if it's somebody who is not a fucking person that skipped bail, Dog does not have legal standing to grab this person, hold them, and detain them. He does not have that. If this person sees him, he's probably just going to dip out and run. And Dog is not going to be able to do shit except maybe follow him and tip it to police. And that even comes with grounds of harassment and stuff. That even comes with its own issues. So it's pointless, okay? It's pointless. And I just wanted to make this and just sound off a little bit on the Gabby Petito case and some of the way I see due process being treated, because I don't agree with it. I believe that this is setting people on a very dangerous path. Very, very dangerous path at that. In fact, I'm going to maybe talk a little longer on this upload now. I'm going to get it, I've touched on it a bit with Kavanaugh, but I'm going to go a little deeper onto it with metoo, okay? metoo is one of those things that, while some of their message is right, they take it extreme. And again, that goes to where many of them take it beyond due process. They take it far beyond due process and want to get rid of due process. Or they want to ignore due process or circumvent due process. When you start saying, automatically believe the accuser and try them as guilty without doing any investigation, without doing any kind of anything, without an investigation, all that's going to lead to is a lot of false arrests, and all that's going to do is make the police not want to investigate those kinds of claims anymore, because they see this and then it blows up in their face because of that. A large part of why sexual assault is not tried as much as it should be, and a lot of the reason why it's such an issue, and it's very, very hard for the courts to adjudicate it, And here's why. Sexual crimes and like domestic abuse crimes and things like that, child abuse as well, all of these crimes like that are done in private. All of these privately done crimes, right? When crimes like that are done in private, there is typically no witnesses, there is typically no evidence, it is merely your word against theirs. So when you have those kinds of situations, how do you adjudicate that? How the hell do you adjudicate that, right? You can't. You can't, because there is a legal standard of evidence that needs to be followed. There is. And if we did things the way that metoo wants to do it, and I'm not saying everybody involved with it wants to do it this way, because there's probably not everyone that wants to. You know, in situations like this, unfortunately, the louder jackasses are the ones who get heard the most. So it could very well be a small minority of Me Too people who are doing it, but because they're the loud jackasses of the group, they get heard more. Okay? So that could be it too. That still being said, if we were to do things the way that they would want, it would lead to a lot of people being incarcerated for shit they shouldn't be incarcerated for. It would definitely lead to racist white women weaponizing it. They would absolutely weaponize that, because racist white women weaponized it before. And I think that should just about cover this upload on what I think about like Me Too and stuff like that. Peace.